Hello and welcome to Express Mobility. Today we have with us Mr. Kalpit Patel, who is the founder and CEO of PMV Electric, which is going to be the youngest brand in the electric four-wheeler space. Yes, you correct heard it right. It's an electric four-wheeler space, and they are launching what is called to be India's first micro electric car with premium features called the EaS-E, targeted towards the urban consumer at a price range of starting at 4.59 lakhs. Is that correct?
7-9 lakhs.
4.79 lakhs. Sorry. So, Kalpit, welcome to the show.
Thank you
And
so
first of
much.
all, congratulations for unveiling this product at a very aggressive price point.
Right.
So, to first understand more about the company, can you give us a brief background about, how did the company start, the story behind it,
Right.
and, where do you see the company going forward?
Right. So initially, when we started out, the idea was not that we wanted to build a business. The idea was initially to try and see what we can build, and the idea was to try and solve some of the problems that I personally faced in my regular everyday life. So that is where we started back in 2016 odd. And obviously, I'm not from the industry, so I had to learn a lot of stuff by myself, and I had to speak to a lot of experts and take a lot of help from them, which is what we did. We built a few prototypes to try and see what we can build. Once we had a certain semblance of idea that okay, there is a possibility that we can actually build a vehicle, is when we formalized the company in November 2018. So incidentally, 16th of November is the foundation day for us. So we're completing about 4 years today. Going forward, we are looking to try and create this category called as personal mobility vehicles, or PMV. We've all heard of the SUV, sedan and hatchback as a category, and we are trying to create this new category which is purpose built for the everyday use of office and back and grocery shopping and dropping kids to school, and try and gradually establish the market and then dominate the same. So that is what our vision is for this particular segment.
Correct. And one of the key challenges as a new entrant in the space is both creating a name for yourself,
Right.
and since you're entering a new segment or a category, which is also very nascent in India,
Right.
is to create that marketing and the message to the consumer that you are in, while you're in a compact vehicle, you're not compromising on safety, performance or features, because one of the key aspects that I noticed was that you are offering a full-fledged of features, right? Right from the ability to control the vehicle through your phone,
Absolutely.
to infotainment, smart screen.
Right.
So, how do you plan to do that? Because one of the exercise for you will be majority your marketing exercise.
Right. So one of the things that we have come to understand is that an Indian consumer, a lot of people think that is price sensitive. We feel that the Indian consumer is not price sensitive. He is value conscious. So if we can deliver the right value to the customer at the right price point, then definitely there is a market to be made. And that's exactly what we are going to do. We have already seen that happening with, the UPI, where, it has just picked up like crazy. We have already seen that we completely skipped the whole 3G generation and we went directly to the 4G. If the customer gets the value that he is looking for, surely there is a market to be made, and that's exactly what we are looking to play. One of the key things that you highlighted in terms of what we are trying to do is to try and build a capable product. When we started out, we obviously spoke to a lot of customers, and one of the first things that they always told us is that don't make something that's funny. Try and make something that is contemporary. Don't try to make something which is tubular chassis and just put on some plastic panels on it, which is what typically happens with majority
in this space.
In this space particularly, not only in India but globally also.
Correct.
So our objective was very clear from day one that people say that because there is no volume, we'll have to deliver a compromised product. I feel the other way around. If we deliver the value, the volumes will follow.
Correct.
So that is what we are trying to do with the contemporary product that we are building.
Coming to volumes, you mentioned that an introductory price of for the first 10,000 customers, of which you've already got 6,000 booking.
Right.
So what is the volume that you are looking at in the first year of operation? You also mentioned that you've got interest and bookings not only from India but also from global markets.
Right.
So what kind of markets have you reached, and will you look at exports in the initial from the start?
Right.
Because this could very well be a good European product.
Correct. So absolutely, our idea from the start itself has always been to made in India and make in India and make for the world. So exports is definitely an important part of the overall market that we are looking at. So surely exports is going to be an important segment that we will look at. And obviously in India, it's still a new category. but globally, if you see, particularly in Europe, it's a very standard, category of micromobility. There
Correct.
are already multiple offerings. So there, we see that this particular segment will surely have, initial better offtake than probably in the Indian market. But yes, in the Indian market, obviously, if the customer understands the value, then we really cannot predict as to how the volumes will be.
Correct.
But surely we are keeping our fingers crossed.
So right from like your begin of production, you'll be starting your exports also.
Yes, we would be working towards that. Yes.
And I understand manufacturing is a very capital intensive game.
Correct.
So what are your plans for that? And since you mentioned that the amount of investments you have raised is undisclosed and you would like to keep it that way. So going forward, is that that you need to raise more funds, and where will you want to deploy these funds?
So I'll tell you, the way that I look at it is that I think till the point that we are in this business, we would continue to, we'll have to continue to raise funds, because like how you rightly said, the industry is a very capital intensive industry, and going forward, surely, and that's something that we've also seen in some of the two-wheeler electric startups which have come up in India, which have done fabulously well in that segment. So surely a similar trajectory is what we also expect and hope. And obviously funding is an important, you can say important contributor to be able to grow. So definitely we would be looking to raise capital also.
And what about manufacturing? How are you planning to cater to the existing demand in the market?
So what we are going to do is we have already signed up a tie-up with an existing company which is into supply of vehicles or contract manufacturing of vehicles for some other brands in the startup space, and also with some existing OEMs. So we are going to work with them to try and get the initial vehicles out. Once we have the volumes in place in terms of how many, what's the kind of demand like, once we are able to get a sense, we would definitely also want to have our own in-house manufacturing facility, wherein we would be catering to both the exports and the domestic market.
Correct. So this will be based out of Maharashtra itself?
Yes, it will be based in Maharashtra.
Okay. And lastly, what about other products? I mean, this is your beginning.
Right.
So will PMV Electric only focus on EaS-E, or there are other products also in the pipeline?
Sir, I would say we would take one step at a time. This is the initial baby steps for us, and our objective is to try and deliver the best and build a brand out of it first. Too early for us to say about the subsequent products. We would like to first deliver this well and deliver it in volumes, and then we would want to graduate towards the other product. Right now the focus is very simple and clear. We would want to focus on this product.
So basically micro mobility, and there could be variants and offsprings of EaS-E.
Surely, I mean, definitely we would look to do that, but at the moment, in the near future, surely we are concentrating and focusing only on this particular product and to get it out in the market at the earliest.
Thank you, Kalpit. It was indeed nice talking to you, and all the best for the future.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you. Nice meeting you.